Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video with me, the Millennial Landscaper. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about my specialty, which is garden maintenance. Now, I'm great at creating gardens and I love creating gardens and refurbishing gardens, but garden maintenance is something that I'm very much interested in. It's therapeutic to me. So I'm going to tell you guys a few tips about garden maintenance, and the topic for the tips is to consistently pull your weeds properly from your garden. To consistently pull your weeds properly from your garden, you have to do a few things. You have to do it monthly. So whenever you pull your weeds monthly, you are able to reduce the amount of weeds that grow in your garden. Therefore, you can keep your garden clean, and when you come in to pull the weeds, it will take you about 10 minutes. So it took me 10 minutes to take care of this garden. Now please bear in mind, this garden right here is about 1/3 the size of our regular gardens. So the regular gardens are 3 times bigger than this, but still it took me 10 minutes to clean up this garden today, and I want to give you guys some tips on how to properly do it and keep it neat and keep it professional. Before we get to the garden, I want to explain to you guys, it's very important when pulling these weeds from your garden that you pull the weeds out by the roots. Do not grab the top of the weeds and tug them until they break at the top or they snap off and it looks like the weeds are gone but the roots are still there. If that's the case, that exact same weed is going to grow back because the roots are still established in your garden. So you want to remove the weeds by excavating them from the garden, which means you want to dig up the weeds along with the top of the weed. So here's the garden, and let's talk about it while we show you the video. Now this is the garden here. Now the garden is small, exactly like I explained, and it only has 4 boxwoods in here. The customer does not want us to trim back the boxwoods because we would have kept it a little neater, and they don't really care for us to trim off those dead growth, but I'm going to do it anyways. They're not going to really notice that we're doing a little bit extra to keep it clean, but we're going to go ahead and just trim it up. I have my pruners, I might as well. But the point is that if you look in this garden here, the weeds are all gone. We cleaned all the weeds out, and like I said, it took me 10 minutes to run through this entire garden here and pull all the weeds. If I was at a regular house, it may have taken me 30 minutes. Bigger houses, maybe about 45 minutes to an hour, but you still pull all of the weeds out by the roots. So professionals and homeowners, I strongly recommend that you guys always consistently pull your weeds once a month by the roots. Now professionals, you probably have a different method, sure, that's fine, but homeowners, I strongly recommend that you do so. If you neglect your garden and let it go for months at a time, then the weeds will get stronger, they will be more established, and they will be much harder for you to remove. So there's no such thing as, oh, I'll do it later and it's going to be easier that way. No, those roots get stronger, those weeds get bigger. When you're pulling those weeds, it's taking more energy out of you, and there will be more weeds to pull out. I'm about to show you guys all of the weeds that we pulled out this month, and you say, wow, that's not a lot of weeds, and you wonder why it's not a lot. Well, I'm telling you now, the reason why it's not a lot is because we consistently pull these weeds every month. Now let's take a look at the weeds themselves. If you look on the sidewalk right here, that's one batch of the weeds, not a lot. Then you look here again, that's another couple bit of weeds, and then let's go over to the end here. This is the most. Look at that. Just a few weeds. Wow, it looks really messy in your garden, but whenever you do go into pulling and you pull them properly, you realize that if you consistently pull weeds, it will not look that bad. If I took 2 months before I actually came by, then it would be twice as much weeds. So you never actually win. Not only would it be twice as much weeds, but the weeds would have been stronger and thicker and harder to remove. So it's very important to come by every month and remove your weeds. weeds, and it only takes you 10 months for a garden this size if you have properly mulched it. A weed fabric underneath helps, but the weed fabric is not the savior. Okay, you mulch it properly and you consistently pull weeds and you'll be fine. Now I'm going to show you guys one last tip. These are the simple tools that I used to clean the whole garden. Now take a look at this. All I needed was my protective gloves, so it would protect my hands from dirt and getting scratched, and whether the soil is hot or not, that's what the gloves are for. The pruners are a backup in case I want to snip a piece of the tree or the branches. You want to just kind of clean things up. And then this sharp digging tool has a little spade edge, so I used that to dig the soil away around the roots of the plants and then pull the roots of the the weeds is what I'm talking about here. You use this spade to dig the soil away from around the roots of the weed and then pull the weed out by the roots. And let me show you an example of a root. This right here is a weed with the roots. We have to get rid of all of these roots. If you pull your weed and you do not see these roots, then you have failed, because you will have the exact same weed growing back next month. Most times I've seen people come in and they grab the weed at the top and they pull and it just snaps just like that, and when it snaps, the weed looks like it comes up, but you still have all of this root under the ground, so all it needs is to grow back again. So you didn't actually remove the weed. However, if you remove these weeds by the roots, this exact same weed will not grow next month. It will not get stronger, it will not get bigger. And if you look at this, look at it, see how big it is? So that's the point of the video. The video is to explain to you guys that you need to properly remove weeds from your garden every month, and that will help to keep your garden a lot neater and a lot cleaner. So customers, if you have a small garden about this size, mulch it properly and just come by for 10 minutes every month and just pull it. That's all. When you mow your lawn or whatever, just pull it and it will be nice and it will be clean. So anyways, those are my tips about garden maintenance. So thank you guys for watching me, the Millennial Landscaper. If you found any educational value in this video at all, don't forget to like it, subscribe to my channel, and comment below if you have any suggestions, if you have any tips, if you want to talk about anything. Maybe you want to ask me about using Roundup or weed kill inside of the garden. We can also discuss that. I don't recommend doing that in garden that has a lot of plants, but we can discuss other things like that. So comment below if you have any questions or inquiries about this and you'd like to learn more about pulling weeds from your garden. Until next time, you guys enjoy the videos.